Star Fox, do you read me? We're under attack from Andross's army. We need your help immediately.
After a nearly decade-long hiatus, Fox McCloud and team returned to active duty in Star Fox Zero for Wii U. Originally revealed as a pet project to famed creator Shigeru Miyamoto, this latest Star Fox has come a long way from its original unveiling. Nintendo teamed up with Platinum Games, the studio behind Bayonetta, Vanquish, and Metal Gear Rising, to produce what can only be called an elaborate reimagining of Star Fox 64 that also includes nods to the original SNES classic and its cancelled sequel. The familiar structure includes a main story mode that takes you through roughly 10 stages of corridor-style flight combat, mixed here and there with more open battle sequences that allow you to fly freely around the combat zone. Just like in past games, progression through the campaign allows for more than a few detours and alternate routes. Your first playthrough could be very different from somebody else's, depending on which routes you uncover. Because of these alternate paths, completing the game is just the beginning. You'll need to play several times to visit every world and witness key story elements. Naturally, there are some concerns about the length of the story mode due to its structure, but with the more fleshed out narrative and numerous objectives within each stage, it'll take you roughly 2 hours to reach the end of your journey the first time. Given how many different routes there are in total, you're going to log a lot of flight time just to see and do everything in the story. The story is largely a revision of Star Fox 64, though there have been a lot of changes for the better. While the specifics may not be the same, the key beats are preserved and the overall pacing and flow of the narrative have improved. Star Fox Zero is downright campy and goofy, down to the character icon's silly animations and endearing one-liners.
Do a barrel roll!
Yet best of all, it plays with the expectations of veteran players, teasing you with a moment you were expecting, but delaying its delivery in ways that pay off so well. It's a great blend of nostalgia and reimagining for a new generation, courtesy of a solid writing effort. Stages are full of intense action, and at times, it might seem like a bit too much to process. It doesn't necessarily make things more challenging, but it's another reason you'll want to revisit each stage, since you're sure to miss something. But make no mistake, while not every level is a winner, like the rather bland Sector 3, some are stunning, like the Sky Jungle of Fortuna and its eventual boss showdown. Many of these stages come to life in brilliant ways thanks to the improved visuals, but the game's overall look isn't without blemish. A few frame rate stutters occur here and there, but usually the action on both screens runs at a steady 60 frames per second. And while a handful of environments didn't receive the same TLC as others, many of the backdrops and action sequences really benefit from the Platinum touch. For the soundtrack, many of the classic songs return with new remixes and arrangements. Some still have the bombastic, orchestrated feel to them, while others benefit from a new synthesized style. Some tracks feel special, like the newly arranged Star Wolf theme, but others rely a bit too much on the sense of nostalgia.
Looks like they set a welcoming party. Should we say hello?
Tackling your objectives in each stage predominantly requires you to pilot the R-Wing space fighter through waves of enemy vehicles and perilous obstacles, but it's not your only means of transportation. The familiar Landmaster tank joins the fight on a few levels, as does the new helicopter-like Gyro Wing. While the Gyro Wing is certainly a welcome addition, what's really special about your vehicles is their new ability to transform. In certain areas, the R-Wing can now morph into the ground-based Walker, something that was originally planned for the cancelled Star Fox 2. The Walker can take on foes in underground bases and enclosed environments where the space fighter simply can't cut it. When it's time to make your escape, you can instantly transform back into the R-Wing to make a dash to safety. Likewise, the Gyro Wing lets you deploy a tethered robot to access hard-to-reach spots and hack into terminals to open passages. It's this newfound freedom that really changes things for the better by providing more than one option to complete your objectives.
Feel the wrath of the great Andross!
Ever since the reveal of this new Star Fox, the controls have been called into question, as use of the gamepad's motion controls is mandatory. Star Fox Zero certainly features the most unique control scheme of any game in the series, and this comes with a decent-sized learning curve. The gamepad allows for precision aiming, but trying to look back and forth between your TV screen and the gamepad isn't the most natural process. You'll have to be patient as you learn, and you might have some difficulty dealing with situational awareness when staring at the gamepad, but the game largely accounts for this part of the process to prevent this from ever becoming more than a minor nuisance. Plus, there are ample opportunities to practice, including an opening training session and an entire training mode with basic tasks and challenges to help you get acquainted with a more complicated setup. There are a few times when having a more traditional, simplified interface would have gone a long way towards making the combat and flight controls more enjoyable. Some may find the button layout a bit strange at first, and there's no option to remap the interface. In addition to the story mode, you can also unlock additional content like arcade mode, additional training levels, and challenge modes to bring you back for more. But one noticeable omission is the lack of any multiplayer battle mode or online functionality. While there is a co-op mode meant for 2 people to control one vehicle in tandem, there's nothing else in the way of multiplayer. And even though Star Fox Zero tracks your best times and scores, there's no online leaderboard functionality in place. Instead, the game encourages you to swap pics of your best performances with others on Miiverse. However, as a bonus, anyone who purchases Star Fox Zero will also receive a free copy of the tower defense game Star Fox Guard. In it, you try to defend various bases from enemy infiltrators using the gamepad to cycle through remote cameras armed with lasers. You can also create your own squad once you've completed the main missions to send out against other players. It's a fun diversion for about an hour or so, and it's free with your purchase, but the novelty and charm quickly wear out their welcome. Star Fox Zero is a wonderful reimagining of one of the most beloved games in the series, blending elements from its early history in a tasteful manner. The Meteor story mode leaves you with a better sense of fulfillment over its predecessors, and while there isn't an online leaderboard to compare best times or scores, there are other extras to keep you playing. Adapting to the new controls might take more patience than some players are willing to give, but those who stick it out are rewarded with a higher degree of precision than previously possible. It's by no means perfect, but it's safe to say Miyamoto's latest experiment is a success.